Hello, everybody. This is Don Markland with Accountability Now, and welcome to the Morning Jolt, where we give you small tidbits of data, information, inspiration to make better decisions today. It's about making today better today. And this week, we are celebrating International Women's Day. It was early this week on the 8th, and I just wanted to take a little bit of time to acknowledge the incredible history of my life, and more importantly, how I've had just the most amazing women impact my life and make my life so much better. A little history on International Women's Day, if you don't know. It was during 1908 that there was this ongoing debate or battle amongst women for their own kind of identity, for equality, fighting against oppression, you name it. And this all electrified when 15,000 women marched through the streets of New York City with demands for, and if this doesn't ring true today too, but they demands for better hours, more equal work hours, equal pay or better pay, and voting rights. And it wasn't until a year later in 1909 when the first Women's Day was observed here in the United States. Later, this followed with celebrations in Copenhagen, Austria, Denmark, Germany, Switzerland, Russia, and more. And between the next 20 years, it became universally adopted and later adopted by the United Nations as an International Women's Day. And it's got a great history and a great reminder of how important that gender is in not just the world, but what we've done to maybe not help women as a people to have as many opportunities as they deserve. One of my favorite quotes that I read this week going around about International Women's Day was this from G.D. Anderson. Feminism isn't about making women strong. Women are already strong. It's about changing the way the world perceives that strength. I love that because it kind of highlights one of the things that I believe so much is that women are already strong. They don't need a man to tell them that or show them that or even allow them to do that. We just need to help everybody perceive it and be able to utilize it to better the world. And I don't believe I have anything to add to the canon of inspiring women, their quotes, their narratives. I have nothing to add that can contribute, but I do want to say this. I'm a proud husband. I'm a proud father of amazing women. I'm a proud son of an incredible mother. And these women alone continue to shape my life every single day. And they don't need a man to give them value in the world or influence in the world. They can do it on their own. But I'm happy to acknowledge the value and the contribution they've made for me and the difference they've made in my life. Now I know, like I've said, I'm a man and I'm never going to fully understand the battles of women in this world. I know from hearing it and understanding it that it's very different than what I've had to deal with. But I wanted to highlight a couple of things that I've been reading about for men, targeting towards my gender, of what we can do to help contribute to a more successful society, especially regarding women in general. First, don't be a bystander. So if you're seeing poor treatment of women in any vehicle, in an organization, in your organization, online, it doesn't matter. And this includes sexist jokes, terrible jokes, rude things. I mean, you name it. Don't be a bystander. Don't just accept poor behavior from others. Let them know, hey, I don't like that. That's not funny. That doesn't matter to me. You not being a bystander sitting on the sidelines will make a difference. Secondly, all of us have women in our lives that have made a difference. Every one of us do. Whether that was a mother, a friend, a sister, a spouse, it doesn't matter. Take the time this week, this month, to call one, multiple of them. I don't care. Call them all and let them know how much you value them, how much you appreciate them, how much you love them for who they are and what they've done for you. And then the last thing, and this one's probably the most important, is we need to continue to educate and coach every young person that we can about how to treat women in general, right? And what's acceptable, what's encouraging, what's not belittling, right? And even as I've gone through this whole podcast, I don't like bucketing all women as women and talking to them as separate. But I think it's important on this International Women's Week and month to highlight them as an amazing group of people that have influenced my life and made the biggest difference for me. And I hope my children will understand that same message. I wanted to just briefly highlight something that I think embodies exactly what this is all about. Just recently, Angela Merkel, the chancellor of Germany, stepped down after 18 years as chancellor of Germany. I mean, you can imagine how incredible that is. And after she was elected the first female chancellor in 2005, some of the things that she accomplished were mind-boggling. Not only being heavily involved in the Treaty of Lisbon, that was in 2007, but she was also awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2011 by President Barack Obama. She was heavily focused in economic reform, social reform, making Germany competitive globally. And when she resigned, when she finished her term here, after 18 years, the German people acknowledged it with 6 minutes of uninterrupted applause. 6 minutes. Right? Even now on this podcast, I'm only 6 minutes in, and some of you are probably already bored. And they did 6 minutes for her. I love that. And that shows the example that, maybe men have had a long time leading a lot of different countries and armies and doing a lot of things. And when I think about it, this is not a statistical survey, or maybe it's not even historically accurate, but golly whiz, when I look at all of the major catastrophes in the world and in world's history, you can almost always tie a male leader as the one being involved. So maybe it's time that we find more Angela Merkels of the world and let them have a shot and show how much better they can do. I'm just in the process of finishing Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. My daughter had read it and my wife had read it, and they told me how great it was. And she has a quote in there that I think is so potent, so powerful, where she says, "There is no limit to what we as women can accomplish." And I think that is the most true thing possibly I've ever read. So thank you to all the women in my life, and that will continue to be there. Thank you for the contribution you make to the world and how much better you make it every day. And I hope to help and do more to help everybody be their best selves as much as we can. That's what this Morning Jolt is all about. If you want more content, first like and subscribe to this podcast. That goes a long way. Leave a 5-star testimonial if you can. Love to see what people think. You can also follow me on Forbes. I have a new article coming out in 2 weeks. The last one, you can go on Forbes and check it out. You can also go to my website, accountabilitynow.net. If coaching isn't for you, if you can't afford a business coach or a personal coach to help you be your best self, because sometimes cost is a factor, go to my site, and there is the Accountability Now Mindset course that you can subscribe to. It's $7 a month. Anybody can afford that. That is lower than your Netflix bill. That's lower than your Disney Plus bill. And even though we don't have the Mandalorian on there, we do have things that'll get you just as engaged. You can follow me on Instagram, executivecoach.don, or my digital marketing agency, the greatest digital marketing agency in the world, 411 Locals. And folks, as always, this is your Morning Jolt.